You really brought the woman he was planning to spend 2 nights with to convince his fiancée to take him back. Silence, thick, awkward, perfect. It wasn't like that, Lucas insisted. I let out a quiet breath, then spoke soft enough that only Bretman heard. Ask him what it was like. Bretman's lips twitched. What was it like then? He asked. Go ahead, explain. Not like that. Jessica stepped forward. I'm going through something. Your dad is fine, Bretman cut in smoothly. He posted his golf score yesterday. Try again. Jessica froze, her jaw tightened. She looked away. Patrick stepped in, voice calm, persuasive. Look, we have 150 guests coming. The rehearsal dinner is tomorrow. You can't end a marriage over a text. Bretman's smile vanished. She didn't, a beat. Lucas did. Lucas's expression twisted. This is insane. Chloe is ruining everything over nothing. Lucas, Bretman said evenly, she's not ruining your life. A pause. She just refused to share it with someone who needed a farewell tour before committing. Diana's composure cracked. Her voice rose sharp, shaking. We will make sure everyone knows what kind of person she really is. I didn't see that coming, but I should have. Bretman didn't blink. Too late. She already posted the receipts. They stayed another 10 minutes. Threats, pleading, excuses, denial. Eventually, security appeared at the end of the hallway, arms crossed, waiting. Diana straightened her blazer, lifted her chin, and walked away like she hadn't just lost control of everything. Patrick followed. Alyssa hurried after them. Lucas hesitated just for a second, like he still believed this could be fixed. Then he turned. Jessica lingered, just for a moment. She looked straight into the camera. Her expression tightened. And for the first time, there was something there, not defiance, not arrogance, something closer to guilt. Then she turned and walked away. Bretman ended the feed and looked at me. You okay? I realized then that I was shaking, not from fear, from adrenaline. From the weight of a future I almost stepped into finally sliding off my shoulders. I let out a slow breath. I think, I said carefully, this is the first time in a long time I actually protected myself. That night, Lucas still went to Jessica's apartment. Bretman showed me her story, Lucas's arm draped around her shoulders, 2 wine glasses on the table, a caption that read, "Sometimes the universe shows you where you're really meant to be." I stared at it for a few seconds, then handed the phone back. That's fine, I said. Let the universe have him. Friday was supposed to be my rehearsal dinner. Instead, I woke up to the smell of burnt coffee and Bretman swearing under his breath. He glanced at his phone and winced. The country club, he said. This should be good. He answered on speaker. Miss Harrison? A polite voice asked. This is her friend, Bretman replied. She's here. Oh, wonderful, the woman said, relief slipping into her tone. There seems to be a situation. I held out my hand. Hello, this is Chloe. She exhaled audibly. Miss Harrison, your fiancé and his mother are here insisting the rehearsal dinner is still happening tonight. They claim you authorized them to proceed. I closed my eyes, pressing my fingers to the bridge of my nose. The event was canceled yesterday. Under my name, I confirmed by phone and email. You did, she said quickly. We have that on record, but they are quite adamant. In the background, muffled but unmistakable, Diana, demanding, loud, relentless. They're now insisting we charge your card, the coordinator added carefully. I let out a small laugh, not amused, just amazed. No, I said firmly. Do not charge my card. If they want an event, they can book a new one under their own names. A pause. Then softer, thank you, Miss Harrison, we'll handle it. A louder shout erupted in the background. Miss Harrison, the woman whispered, she's demanding to speak to you. No thank you, I said, and hung up. Bretman shook his head slowly. They're unraveling. I glanced out the window, sunlight stretching across the street like nothing in the world had changed. No, I said, they're revealing themselves. He looked at me for a moment, then nodded. Fair. Around noon, his phone rang again. Patrick, Lucas's father. This time I answered. Chloe, he said, voice tight. We're at the country club. They're threatening to call the police on Diana and Lucas. Is this really what you want? I leaned against the window, watched the quiet outside. Felt calm. I don't want anything, I said. I'm just living my life. You're destroying his, he snapped. Do you really want to end everything? I closed my eyes. 2 nights, I said softly. A pause. Did he tell you about the 2 nights he needed with Jessica, for closure? Silence. He posted from her apartment last night, I added. Another pause, longer. He exhaled. I saw. So, I said gently, do you still think I'm overreacting? Silence. Then, the call ended. Bretman let out a low whistle. You are wielding truth like a weapon today. I shook my head. No. A small pause. I'm just not carrying his lies anymore. Friday afternoon turned into a spectacle. Lucas's cousin bless her love for drama posted clips from the replacement rehearsal dinner Diana forced into existence after getting kicked out of the country club. 15 people showed up, out of 60. The video panned across half-empty tables. Paper napkins, plastic centerpieces, Diana smiling too hard. Lucas sitting beside Jessica like this had always been the plan. Then came the best part. Lucas's sister, Kelsey, walked in, saw Jessica, paused and walked right back out, didn't even take off her coat. Messy, Bretman muttered, scrolling through the comments. Messy doesn't even begin to cover it, I said, but that's not even the worst part. On Friday night, Bretman walked in slowly, holding his phone like it might explode. Chloe, you need to see this. Instagram Live, Lucas, front and center, face flushed, eyes glossy, definitely drunk. Behind him, Jessica's apartment, unmistakable. What he did next shocked everyone. He started, sniffing, shaking his head. I want everyone to know the truth. Comments flooded the screen. I never cheated, he slurred. I just needed closure. Jessica and I, we have history. A comment shot up. You're literally at her house right now. Another, bro, stop. He panicked, shifted the camera, but it was too late. Screenshots. Receipts, permanent. Chloe is overreacting, he continued. Love is complicated. She's blowing everything up for nothing. Then, didn't you say she had a mental health crisis? He blinked, confused, cornered. She is, he stammered. She's crazy, who cancels a wedding over a text. Another comment? Someone whose fiancé said he'd sleep at his ex's place 2 nights before the wedding. His face fell, actually fell. You don't understand, he muttered. Jessica and I, we have a connection. From off-camera, Jessica's voice, stop, you're making it worse. She appeared briefly, reaching for the phone. The screen shook. Then, black, live ended. Silence filled the room. Bretman locked his phone slowly. Well, he said, that's that. I leaned back against the couch, closed my eyes, and for the first time in days I exhaled fully. This, I murmured, is the easiest breakup of my life. Saturday morning I packed a small suitcase. No rush, no chaos, just movement. Forward, I drove into the mountains, away from the noise, away from the fallout, away from everything that no longer belonged to me. The air felt different there. Cleaner, quieter. Like the world had reset itself without asking permission. At the resort, the receptionist smiled warmly. Are you celebrating something? She asked. I paused, thought about it, then smiled. Freedom. She smiled wider. I like that. Saturday, the day I was supposed to walk down an aisle, smile at a man who couldn't even give me the last 48 hours before our wedding. Promise forever. To someone who needed a goodbye tour first. Instead, I stood there. Alone, at peace. And for the first time in a long time, the silence didn't feel empty. It felt like mine. Instead of walking down an aisle, I woke up in a quiet mountain resort, wrapped in a soft blanket. Sunlight warming my face. I inhaled slowly. Pine, cold air, distant birds. It didn't smell like heartbreak. It smelled like release. I wish that was the end. It wasn't. Around 10 a.m., Bretman texted me, brace yourself. The venue is a circus. I called him immediately. What happened now? He laughed, the kind that comes from disbelief, not humor. Chloe, 30 guests showed up to your wedding. I blinked. What? They're wandering around in formal wear asking for the bridal suite, he said, barely holding it together. And the venue is hosting a corporate retreat today, so your ex's relatives are stuck in a maze of tech bros doing trust exercises. I pressed my fingers to my forehead. You're joking. I wish I was. Diana is demanding they honor the booking because apparently you're going to come to your senses. The venue already called security. Of course they did, I muttered. And Lucas? He's there, Bretman said, standing next to Jessica like they're the ones getting married. There was a pause. Then, Chloe, Jessica's dad, showed up. My stomach dropped. The man who was supposedly dying. What happened? I asked. Bretman cleared his throat. Oh, it was beautiful. Apparently, he walked into the lobby, looked around, and then just lost it. Bretman's voice shifted, mimicking the moment. You told people I had cancer so you could sleep with my daughter while engaged to another woman? I slapped a hand over my mouth, not to cry, to stop myself from laughing. He turned to Jessica next, Bretman continued. And you went along with it? I raised you better than this. I lost it, completely. tears streaming down my face, laughter I couldn't contain. I didn't see that coming, but I should have. Oh, wait, I'm not done, Bretman added. Diana tried to defend them, and Jessica's dad looked her dead in the eye and said, he paused for effect. Ma'am, your son is a liar, and your former future daughter-in-law is smarter than all of you. I wheezed. Stop, I can't breathe. I'll send you the video, he said, laughing. By Saturday afternoon, the chaos had found a new stage. My phone buzzed, a message from my old landlord. Hi, Chloe, Luke has attempted to revoke your shared rent arrangement. Can you confirm? I smiled, slowly. Calmly, I typed back. I've already vacated the unit. I won't be contributing moving forward. 10 minutes later, Lucas texted me. A photo. Him in his tux, standing in our old bedroom, my wedding dress laid out behind him like some kind of prop. This could have been our day. I'm at our place if you want to talk. I stared at it, and felt nothing. No pull, no doubt, just clarity. I typed back, check your email. The message I'd sent the day before was still there. Clean, formal, final. I have vacated the premises effective immediately. I will not be contributing to rent moving forward. His reply came instantly. You can't do this. Where am I supposed to live? I stared at the screen for a second, then typed, try Jessica's, her couch seems available. He sent 43 voice messages. I listened to none of them. The weeks that followed felt like emotional confetti, drifting, settling, revealing what was left when everything unnecessary had been stripped away. Lucas and Jessica moved in together. Not into a dream, not into a fresh start, into her mother's basement. Low ceiling, no windows, a water stain on the wall shaped like something screaming. Bretman showed me a video from one of Lucas's cousins, Lucas on a futon, Jessica arguing with a slow cooker like it had personally betrayed her. It should have been sad, but it felt poetic. Then came the aftershock, Lucas's parents, Diana and Patrick, splitting up. Diana had encouraged Lucas to reconnect with Jessica because she thought Jessica came from money, because she never liked me, because she thought I wasn't ambitious enough. Patrick found out, and that was the end of that. He emailed me. Short, direct, honest. You showed more integrity in 2 days than my son has in years. You dodged a bullet, I'm sorry. I didn't reply. I didn't need to. A few days later, Jessica's father reached out, tracked me down through work. His voice was heavy when he spoke. I'm sorry for my daughter's part in this. You did the right thing. I thanked him because unlike Lucas, he actually gave me something real. Accountability, closure, and my life, it got lighter, brighter, clearer, work sharpened, I got promoted. My boss told me, whatever you're doing, keep doing it. Funny how removing chaos improves everything else. I started climbing again, started laughing again, started feeling like myself again. That's where I met Jard. Steady. Calm, the kind of person who doesn't need to prove anything. After a few climbs, we got coffee, then dinner. Then one night he asked gently, do you want to take this slow? And for the first time in years, I did. When I told him what happened, he didn't laugh, didn't pity me, didn't judge me. He just said, if that were me, I will do the same thing, canceled everything. And that was enough. A week later, I ran into Alyssa. She looked like she'd been carrying guilt for days. I should have told you, she said, and then she did. Lucas and Jessica had been talking for months. The closure wasn't spontaneous. It was planned, even down to the details. Jessica said you wouldn't do anything, Alyssa admitted softly. She said you were too much of a pushover. I smiled, not bitter, not angry, just certain. She miscalculated. The final twist came through a message on Instagram. This one was truly a surprise, from Jessica's ex-husband, short, blunt. She cheated on me with 3 different men, she'll do the same to him. I replied with 3 words, not my circus. Because it wasn't, not anymore. Now I sit by the window in my own apartment. Sunlight spilling across my desk. Quiet surrounding me. Peace, not silence. And I think about all the red flags I ignored. The comparisons. The secrecy. The subtle ways he made me feel like I was the one who should be grateful. Until that message. The one that changed everything. Because it wasn't just a text. It was a warning, a door, an exit, a voice that said, run, so I did. And I never looked back. Thank you so much for listening to this story. I'd love to know where you're tuning in from today, so leave a comment below and tell me if you were Chloe, what would you do in this situation? For more real-life dramatic stories, make sure to subscribe to the My Revenge Space channel, like this video, and share the good news to everyone. Until next time, stay strong and stay free.